Hi everyone, welcome to Moonbeam's Messages. This is a collective reading today that is for Sun, Moon and Risings. If it doesn't resonate with yourself, then please take what resonates with you and leave the rest for someone else. I hope you like your messages today. If you do, please like and subscribe to the channel and you'll get updates every time that I put new content on the channel. Okay, let's get into the reading. Hi, so this is a collective reading for Virgo. Today is the 26th of May. Whenever it falls into your feed, should hopefully be when it is relevant for you. It is for finance, for the collective of Virgo, like I say. Yeah, so let's get into it. It could be for your past, present or future. I like to hope that it could be your present when it hits your feed, but yeah, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. If it doesn't resonate, check your other placements. There may be a message in there for you. Yeah, so Spirit, can we get some cards to help with Virgo and the collective's current financial situation, please? Can we get some cards for the collective of Virgo's current financial situation? Oh, lots of pentacles out already. Okay, so your overall card is the Ace of Swords, and that is in the reverse. Okay, so that is what we're starting the reading off with. Sorry, all your energy. So you've got the Ace of Swords in reverse. So currently, you might be a bit confused. You might be lacking clarity on what you need to do with regards to your finances. You're aware that you need to start something or you need to do something, but you might be a little bit wishy-washy on, or you have been confused in the past. It's definitely suggesting that there is some sort of confusion. You're a little bit stuck potentially. Maybe miscommunicating with people. So maybe if it's something to do with work, maybe there's a job coming up and you miscommunicated to say you don't want it. It could be that you're struggling to nail down what it is you do want. Whether you want to, take a particular route in life, what you want to invest into. That's pretty much what we're suggesting when you're always coming up with your overall energy. Now, in your current position, you do have the Magician in the reverse, which is suggesting that you don't particularly invest very wisely. You don't potentially save much money either, possibly. He's a bit of a spendthrift. He's not particularly rational with the ways that he does spend money. Sometimes he will also lie a little bit about the money he's got, possibly. So it could be something where you might be making out that you're better off financially than you are. Maybe you feel that you're not as financially well off as you actually are. You could be going around telling people that that you've hard up for money, but you could have loads of it. It's about not being honest with yourself or with others, potentially, with regards to what your current financial circumstances are. It could also suggest that you may not have the skills that you need, possibly, in order to get where you want to get them to, or to get exactly what you need. So it might be that you need to look at investing into some sort of, I don't know, maybe some course or something, or to go and speak to other people potentially that you might need to get where you need to get. That's what we have for that current position. Now, your blockages, we've got the Five of Pentacles in the reverse. So this suggests that you may need to revisit problems that your parents may have had in the past, potentially, or that you might be making the same mistakes your parents could have made, or that you need to try and avoid those, basically. It does suggest that, if you do hit rock bottom, it's not going to be as bad as it seems. For instance, if you're somebody that has got nothing, the only way's up. You're not going to get even worse. You can build on that. If it's something where you're losing a job potentially, it doesn't really matter. You'll be able to get you'll get another one. There's help out there. I know that's quite a naive way of putting it, but that's, it does suggest that it's not as bad as it seems. Things might be going on, but it's not as bad as it seems. But yeah, so it very much that it does suggest that maybe that, something that is blocking you is possibly you might be trying to follow what your parents may have done. You've seen that, if it's something, I don't know, it could be something like you watched your parents buy a house and you decide, okay, well, I need to buy a house. But maybe you're, in your 40s or 50s and you've not got one yet. Do you know what I mean? But you're adamant that you need to buy a house because your parents bought a house. Why? Does that make sense? I'm not saying that your parents made a mistake with that, but it's very much of, what did your parents do? I mean, this could be the same as, maybe your parents got into a chunk of debt because, I don't know, it's, maybe somebody used to like to spend on credit cards quite a lot. Maybe it's just trying to avoid getting into that yourself. Maybe it's very much of, you might be, looking to do what they did. It could be very much of, you might not know about this. I mean, in my particular family, finance wasn't really spoke about very much. There's a lot of places like that, a lot of families like that, where as you're growing up, you don't know what your parents' finances are like. They just want you to know that everything's okay and that everything's good and you're happy. But when you hit an adult yourself, nobody still wants to talk about money because money is kind of like taboo. But it's finding out, if you can talk to your parents about how you're doing things, ask them how they did things and kind of examine it so that you don't make the same mistakes that they do. Now, in your core beliefs about money that contribute to your blockage, you have got this 8 of Pentacles, okay? So the 8 of Pentacles is saying that you work on things and that you are somebody that you feel that work should always feel good for you. You want to be recognised for your efforts that you're putting into the work. So it could very well be that. Maybe it's something where you've watched your parents work really, really, really hard, but they haven't got much to show for it potentially. It could just be that, they may, how do we put it? They may not have spent their money on wise investments. They may have just made their money and what is it they do? You spend to your means, don't you? That's what a lot of people do. So no, there's a lot of people that don't save money because they spend what they've got. It could potentially be that your parents have done that. They literally went to work just to feed and clothe and whatever else, instead of having that extra bit to put away or enjoy. It could be any number of things, but that is suggesting that you do feel that you should be recognised for your hard work. It could be very much be that, you had a parent that felt that because they were the breadwinner as such, that they need to be recognised as the breadwinner and be in control of everything. Maybe that's what could be going on, and you might be feeling a little bit that you should be recognised for putting everything in. Yeah, and that could be leading you to real, or because you feel that you put in all that work, you put in all that effort, you should be recognised for all of it. You should be reaping the rewards and everything else. But maybe your parents did a lot of hard work and they didn't reap those rewards, but they just worked really, really hard. But you can't quite see that. So you might be feeling, you might be a bit blocked and stuck because of the way that you are, and that you haven't learned that particular thing yet. Now we do have the Judgment card in reverse into what can help you. Now the Judgment card is potentially having a bit of a wake-up call, okay, and seeing the truth. So this is suggesting that, you know, your finances will get better eventually if you don't spend more than what you earn. So again, that would suggest then for this Magician in the current position that you are spending more than you're earning, and you're not really telling anybody. You're kind of pretending that everything's okay. And again, when I was saying earlier about potentially parents spending on credit cards, maybe that's something that they were doing. So maybe you're spending on credit cards, you know, pretending that everything's okay and that you've got the money to be doing it, not realizing that your parents have already done that in the past. And you think, well, I'm working really hard, I want something to show that I'm working hard. So maybe you've gone and bought a big flashy car, and you're using the justification of, well, I work really, really hard, I'm going to pay for it, but I'm paying for it, you know, I want people to know that I'm working hard and to think that I've got a brilliant job. But in reality, you're building up debt, you know. And then you've got that Judgment, like I say, that's suggesting that, you know, you just need to stop spending more than what you're earning. Calm it down a little bit. You know, your success is usually defined from fame and reputation rather than the capacity of things. So yeah, you know, get your reputation out there, not so much get your reputation out there, but if it's something where you've wanting to do something online, for instance, or if you're looking for a new job, you need a relatively good reputation. If you want a promotion within work, you know, if you've got a good reputation within work, you're more likely to get a higher paid job. Now, we've also got the Knight of Cups as your outcome. Now, that Knight of Cups is also in the reverse, which is suggesting that you might need to make decisions from the heart a little bit where it comes to money. When he's in the upright, it's, you know, telling you to make decisions from the head with regards to money. But in the reverse, it's suggesting potentially more from your heart. You know, that there are opportunities coming towards you. You just need to make sure that you do seize those opportunities that are coming towards you as well. Okay. Right, let's get some clarification cards on these as well. So, Spirit, please clarify the Magician. Please clarify the Magician. Okay, so we've got the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. So your Page of Pentacles is telling you that not only are you spending money a little bit irrationally, that you also need to reconsider how you do that. At the moment, you don't. Okay, so at the minute, you don't even look at what you've got. You don't reconsider or you don't consider how you spend it. You don't look at what money you've got. You don't make plans. You know, that is pretty much what that Page of Pentacles in reverse. When he's in the upright, he's suggesting that you are, you know, making plans for the future. You are living within your means. You are assessing what money you've got. You budget. You know where money needs to go to, and how to spend it. So what you know what you've got left. But when he's in the reverse, it is suggesting that you're not currently doing that. Okay. That you're not really thinking very wisely about that. So you might just be splashing out a little bit. Okay, so let's get clarification on this Five of Pentacles in the reverse as well. And we've got the Fool card. So again, the Fool card is, and that's in the reverse as well. So he's just as bad as that Magician in the reverse. He is not really paying any attention to the money. He's not making any plans. He's just jumping straight in. A little bit irrational when it comes to spending. So again, that is a bit of a blockage. So not only do you need to learn from your parents' mistakes, maybe you need to learn from their spending patterns. If it's something where they were an emotional spender, should we put it that way? Maybe you need to look at doing something like that. I mean, my parents, for instance, if my dad did something wrong as an apology, he'd just go and spend and buy as something as an apology. And that's how some certain people do stuff. It could be very much, there might be things that you need to learn. Maybe you've got a mum potentially that is a shopaholic, but she only really shops when she's sad. It could be anything like that, and puts all the money on credit cards and gets herself into loads of debt and nobody knew. Do you know what I mean? It could be very much something where you just need to look at potentially where they, spent. It could be very much of, if somebody was in a happy mood, they'd put all their money in savings. If somebody was feeling really rubbish, they took all their money out of savings. It could be any number of things. It does also suggest that, in work potentially, that somebody might be a little bit lazy, lacking talent, a bit detached from the work situation. Again, that could be something that needs to be learnt from parents. Maybe you had a parent that didn't work. Maybe you had a parent that was in and out of jobs. You might just need to learn a bit more about why that was. So the 8 of Pentacles, we've got the 10 of Cups clarifying. Now that 10 of Cups is also in the reverse. Okay. Now the 10 of Cups is suggesting that you might like to spend on other people because you like to make people happy. And it suggests, maybe that's one of the things why you like to be recognised for working hard and for making that money, because you expect people to recognise you for spending that money on them. It could also suggest that you might have some loose ends that you've not tied up with regards to investment or work potentially that could cause you some issues. So where you want to be recognised for doing a good job and hard work, you may have left some loose ends, so it might not be as great as it seems. You might have took some shortcuts potentially just to get some recognition from it prematurely. Let's get some clarification on this Judgment card as well, please. Okay, so we've got the 8 of Pentacles again. So the Judgment card then being clarified by wanting to put work into it again. So yeah, so it does suggest then that, you need to potentially work on it. You need to invest. I don't think it's the same kind of, how do I put it? Your core belief will go to your blockage, but at the same time, it's a different aspect of your core belief of this 8 of Pentacles card that is going into that Judgment card. Okay, so where this is saying, your finances will get better eventually, it's because you're working on it, because you're putting in the hard work to gain the recognition and to do what you need to. That is why you're going to get it. You're going to get that eventually. I mean, this is, this is changes to improve the situation. I mean, it's just literally suggesting that you just need to keep working on it and things will get better. Don't spend more than what you earn. So, working hard on not spending more than what you earn, instead of working on something to gain the recognition of having a good job or having money, working on those finances to not overspend, instead working within your means. Instead, if it is something where, you might want to spend your money to make people feel happy, instead of overspending, just spend within your means. People don't need gifts to be made to feel happy. That's just something that makes you happy at the end of the day. And you can be, some people, I've known people before where every time somebody goes, they have visitors, they have to make sure that they've made them loads of snacks and that they buy them gifts and they do this and they do that. But why? They're coming to visit you, not to get a gift. And if they're coming to get a gift and not visit you, then they're not coming to visit you. They're not coming, do you know what I mean? You shouldn't need to buy somebody a gift to spend time with them. You shouldn't need to be paying people's bills or buying them drinks or paying for food in order to spend time with them. They should appreciate the time that they've got with you, and if they're not, then they're not particularly nice people, and maybe that's something you should look into, reevaluate if that's the case. You shouldn't have to spend money in order to be appreciated by people. That's not quite how it should work. Love and unconditional love and appreciation all come hand in hand. You don't need material goods to get that. Kindness goes a long way, but so does appreciation. So you don't have to buy something every single time. Do you know what I mean? Christmas and birthdays, that's what they're for. They get gifts and those. Easter eggs, you don't need to get anything more than that. And even if they get birthday cards and birthday presents, they're lucky. Some people don't get those. But yeah, so your outcome then. So if you do work on this, and if you do, make all those changes and only spend within your means. So you've got the 10 of Swords. Okay, so this is somebody that's stuck in old patterns, potentially, possibly unhappy cycles, possibly somebody that's feeling a bit blocked, drum and sad. As daft as it sounds, it might be that you're feeling sad because you're not spending money on other people, and you might be feeling like it's going nowhere because you've stopped making those decisions to try and cheer yourself up by using money. So it could very well be that you are looking at things in a new perspective where, it might feel like it's a little bit sad at the end of it. But again, the 10's an end. The ace comes after the 10. Oh, look, we've got another ace there. We like ones. You've got a couple of 10's here as well, and you've got a couple of 8s. So 8s, 10's, and 1s, reoccurring numbers. You might want to look those up for some angel numbers. We've got another one there for your magician. So lots of 1s. But yeah, reoccurring numbers, and if you see them, you're generally on the right path. It's usually your angels have got some messages for you. But yeah, that 10 of Swords was in the upright. But yeah, it does look as though you might feel like you're stuck at the end of it, but you are making way. You are still getting somewhere. It's just that you're having to start making decisions a little bit differently. So where you would normally make them from the head, which is weird because we've got potentially you're spending money on other people. So maybe it's a mental thing where you've been spending money on other people. Maybe you now need to spend from the heart instead. So as weird as it sounds, maybe part of the things that you've been doing is thinking they'll like this because, you know, it's a gift. And instead of just spending time with people for them and using your heart, because some people might think that, okay, they like something because it's expensive. Somebody might not like something that's expensive. They might prefer something that's cheap and cheerful because it means something to them. What's a good way of putting it? So you might go out and you might buy, I don't know, a designer perfume or designer makeup for somebody, for instance, just to show that you've got money and you want to feel appreciated. You want to show that you can buy them something nice, something expensive, but all that person wants is some, I don't know, cheap thing that they can take on a night out because it might get lost, fall out of the handbag. Do you know what I mean? It might be something where, you know, you buy them an expensive perfume, but then they don't use it because it costs too much. You know, they don't want it to run out. But then what's the point of having a perfume if it never gets used? You know, it could be that sort of thing. So instead of using your heart and going, okay, well, this would be more appreciated, you might just be spending money for spending money's sake. And it might make you feel a little bit sad about that. The fact that you're not spending your money as such on things that are big and showy, because it might make you look, you might feel like you look like you're a bit of a miser as such, but in reality you're not. You're just doing it in a different way. So just be mindful that, you know, it looks as though it's going to be a hard change, but it does look as though it is a change that you potentially need to do. Okay. But yeah, so it just looks as though you need to start looking at things a little bit more, how do you put it, compassionately rather than cynically. Is that the way of putting it? I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, either way, it does look as though you just need to not necessarily use money and to try and gain, what do we call it? You can't buy love. Is that the way of putting it? You know, can't buy me love by the Beatles. You know, use your heart and compassion to make people feel better instead. Just somebody laughing will cheer you up. You know, you don't have to buy them a gift to cheer you up. Laughter's infectious. Right, I'm going to pull you an Angel of Abundance Oracle card as well. See if there's any more messages Spirit wants to give. Spirit, can we get an Angel of Abundance card for Virgo, please? That's far too many. Okay, we'll take those two. So we've got clearing debts. Your self-care involves removing the heavy burden of financial and emotional debts from your life. You already feel lighter and freer just by facing this topic and making a plan to clear present obligations and avoid future ones as well. So that's all to do with learning from those mistakes of your parents and not spending stupidly. And we've got quiet retreat. Okay. It's time to disconnect from the outer world so that you can discern and process your true thoughts and feelings from your inner world. Create this quiet time for yourself and you'll have more clarity about what to do next. Okay. And we also do have on the bottom a conscious consumer. It says you have the power to heal and help the world with your decision to buy only products and services that are ethical and environmentally friendly. As a conscious consumer, you choose to invest in fair trade and organic goods. You live simply and you purchase only that which you need. Okay, so again, that suggests that, you know, if you are going to buy gifts, potentially buy them ethical, environmentally friendly from your heart, and only buy things that are actually needed. Okay. Right, I hope that has given some help to some of you Virgos. Good luck and thank you for joining me.